Well, hey fans, welcome back to another movie review, and today we're talking about Scrambled. So Scrambled is a semi-biographical comedy drama written, directed, and starring Leah McKendrick, Nwodim, Andrew Santino, Clancy Brown, and many other names. It follows a girl named Nellie Robinson who's in her mid-30s who, after the pressure by her family and after getting out of this serious breakup, she decides to freeze her eggs. So this film pretty much follows her journey through that situation. And like I said, the film is semi-biographical. McKendrick actually went through this herself. It was around COVID. I remember seeing during an interview that she decided, I'm not getting any younger. I'm not currently seeing anybody. I may want children in the future. I'm going to decide to, freeze my eggs. And eventually I may tell this story to the public, and that's what she did. So I first heard about this film when I was covering South by Southwest. I received an email and I read the log line for the film. I said, you know what, I might be interested in that. I reached out to the PR person, said, hey, I'm covering South by Southwest digitally. Can I get a link? And unfortunately, they responded to me and said, we're not sending out any links for this film. So I just kind of let it go. And lo and behold, several months later, I get another email and they're like, hey, we're sending out links for this film. Do you want to watch it? So I'm like, yeah, I want to check it out. I want to check it out then. Let's see what it's about. It sounds like it's going to be funny. And I watched it, and I'm going to say this film was not made for me, and that does not mean I did not find enjoyment in parts of it. So for McKendrick to write and direct this film and to also star, I think it hinders the film somewhat, because me personally, and I'm pretty sure there are others, we don't really know who Leah McKendrick is. Like, is she a comedian? Is she a writer? What is she known for? And in this age of movie theaters and the movie going experience, you really need some kind of big name to draw the audience in. And unfortunately, Andrew Santino and Nwodim or Clancy Brown is going to really bring the audience to watch the movie. And I do applaud her for making that decision. I don't know if it was her decision or if it was the studio who financed this film's decision, but I applaud it. It is her story. I understand that she wants to be the one acting it out, and that's fine. But I do feel that it may have worked better if it were just somebody else starring in this story. And that brings me to another point about the film, is it is really a personal story. And you don't really get a lot. There's some interaction with her family members, some of her friends, but I feel like more of that would have helped the film, because it is a very specific story that is being told here that only few audience members can relate to. Not many people have actually gone to or can afford to go through the process of freezing their eggs. Even she states in the film, like, her character can't afford it. She has to go to her brother for help. So when you have such a small audience, you need to do something else with the story to draw people in. And there's a point, like when the movie starts, I'm thinking it's going to be partly like a raunchy sex comedy with a heartfelt story about a woman freezing her eggs towards the end. But it doesn't really stick to that. And then you think, oh, it's going to be like a Bridesmaids type thing, but from the female perspective. You got her, she's always the bridesmaid, never the bride, like a 27 dresses type thing, but they don't really stick to that either. And I feel like in that aspect, the film's all over the place. It should have been some kind of raunchy sex comedy of this girl in her mid-30s, trying to find the one while also preparing for the case of if that does not happen. Or, a girl, going to all these weddings, also trying to find the one and leaning on her friends and her family for support. So I think that would have worked better for me personally. And again, with the serious nature of this film, fertility, I think this is the wrong time of year to release this film. This is definitely an awards caliber story. You have a female-centric screenplay. You have a person of color in the lead role. Even if she's like half white, it still works. And then if you put this out in the fall and you just promote it as this Oscar bait movie, I think you stand a chance at least getting some awards buzz and maybe even a screenplay nomination. And that, with it being such a specific story, that is the audience you want to grab for a story like this. You want to grab those who really only watch awards-worthy movies. Because like I said, it's somewhat comical, and McKendrick is a great writer. I laughed more than I thought I would. But you want that audience more than you want the females who've frozen their eggs audience, if that makes any sense. And you can tell the film really wanted to be like some of the aspects of the writing really were in line with an Oscar bait type film. There's this scene, and it's almost cringeworthy at the end, where she goes to her neighbor and complains about how horrible her life is and how she just really wants someone to help her. And her neighbor helps her with like her final injection. And that scene for me, with the way the rest of the movie went, I don't think that scene needed to be there. I feel like she could have given herself her last injection. She didn't need some neighbor who he had never met to help her along the way. But the film is well directed, and I think McKendrick does a great job in that aspect. It is mostly well written, and she does a great job in that aspect as well. And she's a fine actor. I liked seeing her portrayal of basically herself, Nellie. I do wish, like I said, we got to see her interact with more of her friends or family, and I think that would have made it a funnier movie. But in terms of the score, I'll give it a solid 5.5 out of 10. That's where I'm pretty much going to sit with this film. Remember, you can watch the full review on YouTube and the website flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.